Hello viewer, welcome to History and Government Form 2, lesson 3 with Mr. John Gatumo. In our previous lesson, we were able to introduce the types of trade and we discussed the local trades. And therefore, I gave you some assignment to go and try at home. And this assignment, we said we are going to discuss them together. And therefore, today, I want us to do them together. This question being, you name 3 types of trade. One type of trade that we were able to discuss was this is local trade. We discussed the regional trade and international trade. There are 3 types of trade. Question 2 is about to explain 3 reasons that make people to engage into local trade. Some of these reasons or the factors that make people to engage in local trade were it's because of surplus production. And the surplus production, this is a situation where the farmers, they could produce more than they needed to use at home. And therefore, the excess was exchanged for mutual benefit. Another reason is because of specialization. As people, in their culture, they had various occupations and therefore led to specialization. And some people engaged in activities such as pottery, farming, we had hunting and gathering, we had blacksmith. So all these were the specialization. So for one person to get the good for another person, they get this through the trade. Another reason is because of an even distribution of resources. An even distribution of resources means because in the earth, some of the resources are unevenly distributed. They are not equally distributed. Some places, they have abundance of these resources. So the only reason to get the resources is only to engage in the trade. Therefore, today, we shall continue on the same chapter that is about trade. And the same chapter about trade, and we are going to dwell on the topic that is regional trade, which is also known as trans-Saharan trade. That's what we're going to discuss today. I hope you're going to enjoy it. On the regional trade, which is also known as the trans-Saharan trade, this is a trade that involved crossing the largest desert in Africa from North to West Africa. It's a trade that involved crossing the largest desert in Africa, that is the trans-Saharan trade. And it involved 2 or more geographical regions. That's the reason why we call it the regional trade, because this is a trade that involved 2 or more geographical regions, or rather the area. A good example of this trade is the trans-Saharan trade. It involved a larger area and also large variety of goods. The goods were so many, they could come from all the way from northern of Africa to western of Africa. Let us have a look at the meaning of the trans-Saharan trade. We can subdivide the trans-Saharan trade into 2 terms. Trans-Saharan trade means it is derived from the word trans, and trans means across. It was a trade which was conducted between North Africa, and North Africa, to be specific, is a place we call the Maghreb. The Maghreb is a name given by the Arabs to refer to the north of Africa. And another country on the other side was the West Africa. Which is also known as the West Sudanic Kingdoms. Across the Sahara Desert. We have said that trans-Saharan name comes from the word trans, because it means across. And the traders, they could come from North Africa. You can see the map of the Sahara Desert, which is one of the largest deserts in Africa, in the world. These traders, traders. They came all the way from Maghreb. You can see the arrow. The Maghreb is in the northern of Africa, and they could cross all the way to the West Africa, which is actually known as the West Sudani Kingdom. And this one involved across the Sahara Desert. Have a look at the Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert being one of the largest, you can see the yellow part. This symbolizes, rather it shows how large the desert is. It's one of the largest in the world. Let us have a look at the origin of trans-Saharan trade. When we talk of the origin of the trans-Saharan trade, we shall dwell on the Sahara Desert. And you can see a picture of a Sahara Desert before drying up. Initially, Sahara was not that dry. There was some vegetation, you can see some green, and you can see the history, you view the history. You see there was even some settlement. So the Sahara was not that dry, but in the process of the climatic changes, it changed to be the largest desert in Africa. Let's see the process of drying up the Sahara. From now, the greener part, the vegetations, you can see they are reducing as the years progress. The Sahara Desert is taking another shape. In the desert, there was some settlement. You can see some settlement. People engaged. Example of these settlers of the desert. They have the Moors, they have the Tuaregs, among many other people, or rather the desert dwellers in that time. Look at the origin of trade. We shall see this before the Sahara Desert dried up. Traders used horse-drawn chariots from the northern and West Africa. So the horse-drawn chariots, this is because this one came from the north of Africa, that is the Maghreb. And in the Maghreb, they use the horse. And remember, horse is one of the animals that can be used as a beast of burden. But again, because this desert dried up, we shall see another animal that came, and this is the use of the camel, which is actually the sheep of the desert. We shall discuss later in this class. So let us have a look at this video. We see the process in which the Sahara Desert dried up. Sahara Desert is one of the largest in the earth. It is actually one of the it was highly populated by that time, and the area had lakes, it had some human settlement. You can see some drawings, the drawings that were there in Sahara. You see that there was some settlement, and there was some dust that existed in the region, and this desert came when the Sahara Desert dried up. The Sahara Desert had a lot of dust, and this dust is shown by the historians or the researchers. They have told us that there was some settlement in the region. Well, that is how the desert has started. So therefore, the merchants, or rather the traders, they used the horse-drawn chariots between the north and West Africa. And you can see a good picture of the horse-drawn chariots. That is the horse drawing some chariots. And they come all the way from the north to West Africa, or rather the Sudani Kingdom, where they could sell their goods. Trans-Saharan trade and Islamic State in West Africa. We have desiccations of Sahara, which begins at 5000 BC. There is the introduction of Arabic camels, and this one revolutionized trade and first domesticated around 1500 BCE. 7 to 90 days. They used 7 to 90 days to cross the Sahara Desert. That is relatively 3 months, and this is the period they used to cross one of the largest deserts in the world. Arabs established trading communities, and these trading communities, they were mostly based at Gao. Gao is one of the places, or rather the trading centers in the west of Sudan Kingdom. The caravans, these are people, or rather the merchants who moved in a large group. They used the horse-drawn chariots to move their products. They could get some of the middlemen on the way, and these middlemen, they are such as the Tuaregs. You can see the Tuaregs. The horse-drawn, as they were moving in the desert, they could get these middlemen. The middlemen, they could transport, because they held geography of the place of West Africa, and they guide these merchants. The Tuaregs, they used to interpret for the merchants because they did not know the language of the people. And these Tuaregs, they are the one who directed. They acted as a guide. They could guide them on the way to the marketplace. So this one brings to the end of our lesson. And I want to give you some assignment that you go and try at home, so that in the next lesson, we shall be able to discuss them in detail. Go and do a research on. The first question being, define the term trans-Saharan trade. You go and define the term trans-Saharan trade, and this is 1 mark. Question 2, you briefly describe the origin of trans-Saharan trade, and this is 5 marks. So you can follow us at Edimu you can send us your SMS through 40007, or you can follow us in the Facebook page on Elimu TV, and our Twitter handle is at Elimu_KE. Thank you for following this lesson. Stay tuned to Elimu TV, where you watch and learn. And this is the only TV station where when you follow, you will be able to learn. Thank you. I have been your teacher, Mr. John Gatuma. Thank you. See you in the next lesson.